The Turn 4 Perspective. Weekly dirt racing news brought to you by Brooke John Peer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Turn 4 Perspective. This week's episode is going to be a bit short as well, because High Limit Racing did not have their races. The Short Track Super Series didn't race anywhere, nor did the Super Dirt Car Series. But there were a few races that went on, and we are getting in preparation for Super Dirt Week, which is this week. So I do have some updates for you, even though it might be a bit shorter. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First on our list is the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series that is sponsored by NOS Energy Drink. They were at Williams Grove Speedway for the National Open. Now, it was supposed to be a Friday and Saturday night show, as most two-day race events are, but due to heavy fog rolling in, they decided to cancel it and run a double feature on Saturday. Now, from some of the photos that I've seen, there were some vapor trails coming off of the wings, which was pretty cool to see and pretty neat, but you can't race when you can't see, 5 feet in front of you. So it was a good call on their part. So the first feature was won by Buddy Kofoid on Saturday, and the second feature, which was the actual National Open feature, was won by Carson Cito. So that means that the score for the PA Posse is still at a solid 0, and that puts the World of Outlaws at 2. I forget right now what the past score was, but I believe it was 4-1-0 or something. So that still gives the Posse 0 points against the big name drivers, which once again is not very good considering that they are in Pennsylvania. But the high limit racing drivers were also competing at Williams Grove, and the high limit racing guys did not do as well as the World of Outlaws did. So that gives more points to the Outlaws than high limit does. So if you're a points person or if you pay attention to that, then that's something that you are interested in. Or in my case, you just find it really interesting how people perform in different parts of the country and with different fellow competitors and their class of choice. Now, moving on to the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. They were also in Pennsylvania for a Friday and Saturday night show. But at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, they didn't have fog. So they were able to race on both Friday and Saturday without any issues. And on Friday night, Devin Moran won the race. And on Saturday, it was Superman, JD, Jonathan Davenport. That is to be expected. I do know that some of the World of Outlaws late model drivers were there as well, as it was the Pittsburgher, and that is a very big race. So that's why the World of Outlaws Case Construction late models did not have their weekly race, because they were at the Pittsburgher. But once again, both drivers are with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, whereas the World of Outlaws guys didn't do, 100%. So once again, that's very interesting. Now, our final race update of the podcast here is the Outlaw 200 at Fulton Speedway here in New York. This race was on Saturday night, and it was a race where they have the sail panels on the cars. I'm personally not a fan of the sail panels. I think it doesn't look right, but, the Outlaw 200 is an event that is just amazing. So anyway, Matt Williamson won that race, and he started, a little bit back, and he worked his way up, and he won. But the main thing about this race that is really interesting is Jimmy Phelps and Mahaney got into it on lap 192. Now, Mahaney apologized via Facebook to Jimmy Phelps and the entire 8H team, but I didn't see what happened, so I'm just going to say what he said in his apology, and then I'm going to go off of that. So according to what Mike said, on lap 192, his front end got stuck underneath Phelps's rear bumper, and that caused him to turn Phelps into the infield. His apology also went on to say that it was a desperate move and a bad move on his part, and he's very sorry for what he did. But people are chastising Mahaney for what he did, saying that it was bad and whatever. I didn't see anything. I tried to find it. I searched for like 2 hours on Sunday night trying to find a video. No one had it. I found a 14-minute video of the first part of the race, but I didn't, find this specific event. But what I can say is that shit happens in racing. Like, this seems like he just cut too close to him. He got hooked, and he ended up turning him into the infield. I've seen this happen multiple times on the front stretch of my home track at Raidsville Speedway. I've seen it happen at my second home track of East Alabama Motor Speedway down south. It's common. At the end of the race, people get very intense. People get very desperate, and they do things that they normally wouldn't do, but it ends up coming to bite them in the ass, so to speak. But yeah, I really think that it was just a racing accident. Like I said, I didn't see it, so I can't see if it was done on purpose or not. But from the apology, from the comments that I've seen, which were on his side, and saying that he was a stand-up guy for apologizing, which I do agree with. It was just a racing deal. Obviously he did take both of them out. They were both screwed out of any chances of winning, but, as I said, shit happens. So we'll just have to see what happens this week at Super Dirt Week, which leads us to our final event of the podcast. As of Monday, I am recording this on Wednesday morning, there were 83 big block modifieds into Oswego Speedway for Super Dirt Week. This is going to be a very exciting week, and I will have all of the coverage for you next week, which brings me to say that this is the end of episode 4. Like I said, it's short because not many series raced, but I hope you enjoyed. Please continue to send feedback. Please continue to suggest series that you want me to cover, and just anything else. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next week.